I will begin the recording. I will begin the live session. Live custom. Let's begin the broadcast. Let's begin the broadcast. Seems that we were lucky. Let's see. Okay. We were lucky. We are ready to rock. Welcome everyone. Happy Open Innovation Thursday. We are once again in a conversation, 15-minute conversation about open innovation, and in particular about the Oxford Handbook of Open Innovation, published and released back in February. We are, I think, a little bit more than 2 months we've been discussing about this, and I'm very thrilled because this is chapter number 9. My name is Marisol Menendez, and I'm in this adventure of speaking every week with one of the authors of each of the 57 chapters of the handbook, which is an amazing task if you see that I'm passionate about open innovation and the practice of it. And today, I'm so happy because we are, of course, welcoming Marc Gruber. Hello, Marc. How are you?
Hello, Marisol. Good to see you.
Good to see you. And also the topic for today, the name of the chapter is Open Innovation and the Creation of High Growth Ventures. And this is amazing because it's an entrepreneurship related topic. And yesterday was the World's Day of Entrepreneurship, Entrepreneurship World Day. So talk about good coincidences.
Perfect time.
Celebrating. I'm ready to rock. Welcome, Marc. As we are now, it's now tradition in our Thursdays. This is a 15-minute talk, but we always like to begin by getting to know better our guests of the day. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, so I'm based here in Lausanne in Switzerland at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology, EPFL. It's the French acronym called Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne because we're in the French-speaking part of Switzerland. I've been here since 2005 as a professor for entrepreneurship and technology commercialization. So you already see that I'm coming from the entrepreneurship angle, but always have been involved, of course, because of my interest in innovation, open innovation, with the open innovation community as well. I've currently a nice additional job, which is the editor-in-chief of Academy of Management Journal. And there, of course, we are welcoming lots of innovation, open innovation papers too, but framed and written for General Management Journal, of course. So that's my little advertising here.
Oh, that's
pleasure
so nice.
to be here and talk about the chapter. Thank you for inviting me.
That would be another discussion because I'm always curious about what you get to see by being in the editorial team there. Thank you very much. It's very interesting. And you co-wrote this article together with Eva Weisenbock. I don't know if I pronounced the name correctly.
Weisenbock, yes.
How come you teamed up with her, and how did you came with the idea of writing this chapter?
So Eva at that point in her career was a postdoc in my chair at EPFL. And we saw that opportunity to collaborate for a chapter specifically for the handbook, and we thought, well, a great topic would be to focus on entrepreneurship, and I think it's an interesting topic from the entrepreneurial lens, because when you think about entrepreneurship, it's the idea of being open to get resources from others, to get knowledge and input from others. It's quite maybe it's even normal for an entrepreneur. If you think a new venture that's about to be started hardly has any resources, it's the founder. So the idea of being open is very natural, to an entrepreneur. So one of the reasons why we thought this is a great chapter to write is because the entrepreneurship scholars might have taken it almost for granted, that there is this need for external resources. It goes back to papers by Stinchcombe about liabilities of smallness and newness, and lots of papers have been written about attracting resources. So these perspective offered by the open innovation community and the scholarship that exists there are quite interesting because they are emphasizing aspects that have not been looked at so deeply within the entrepreneurship community among those scholars. So we thought it's a great opportunity to actually to start a conversation. Of course, there isn't a smaller ongoing conversation, but there needs to be much more research that benefits from the insights of the OI community and vice versa. I think entrepreneurship scholars have much to tell to the open innovation community, and I think there are great synergies. So that's a bit the impetus, the motivation that led us to write this chapter and develop that framework that is depicted in the chapter.
This is amazing because, you know, as you say, openness is very natural for the entrepreneur world. But maybe there's not so much methodology to that, no? We discussed last week with Wim van Haverbeck about open innovation in SMEs, and many entrepreneurships or startups are SMEs for a time, no? And so there's also this need of articulation, learning the dynamics of collaboration. I'm living that myself in firsthand, so I was very excited about this conversation today. So now let's get to the chapter. No, what's the chapter about? And what I've read and what I learned is like we have first this general idea of bring the crossover between the two knowledge areas. No, entrepreneurship, as you were saying, and open innovation. So, and you were saying just before, this is something that is not as well developed, maybe as one hope, and full of opportunities.
Absolutely, and I think. Yeah, so what we try to do is to you know, we come from with an entrepreneurship lens towards the open innovation literature here. What we basically differentiate is on the one hand the contextual perspective, and then really the procedural, the process perspective that is very germane and natural to entrepreneurship. So from a contextual perspective, of course, there's a key question of where the venture is located and what that means actually for open innovation. So if you know, many ventures are actually created within accelerators, you know, these startup villages or startup studios, whatever they are called, you know, and that means they are already in an environment where there's lots of knowledge available. But this is one type of venture. Then you have other types of ventures that are created more independently. But if you think about this, you know, the location of a venture, the knowledge spillovers that happen between the venture and the environment is very much one where the open innovation literature can shed some light on key mechanisms, on motivations, and so on, of why these knowledge spillovers happen, why they are sought by entrepreneurs. The other element that is partly where entrepreneurship can actually offer a lot of insights is actually the role of the founder. You know, if you look at the founder, the experience the founder brings, the psychological makeup, the openness of the founder, there are lots of variations, and we know this because there are tons of studies that have looked at how founders shape new firm creation. And I think the marriage between these concepts to say, hey, we have the founder here on the one side, the endowments of the founder, psychological knowledge, experience, whatnot, and then in an extended setting, also the team of entrepreneurs. If you have that and then the context, I think that makes up for a fruitful discussion among both research areas, because you know the open innovation literature can learn a bit about this idea from, you know, how differences among individuals and teams shape open innovation processes, and the startup is a great setting to study this because there are fewer people than in a large organization, R&D organization, and vice versa. The mechanisms, as I mentioned, from the open innovation research body of work, where we understand now a lot about the inflows, outflows, and so on, can help entrepreneurship scholars to sharpen their thinking about you know, exactly these knowledge spillovers, the knowledge exchanges that happen. So that's one element that we emphasize in the chapter. It's this idea with the context and entrepreneurs. And the other element that we highlight is a process perspective. So in entrepreneurship, a process is quite it's oftentimes the perspective that is taken. Why? Because you start with an initial idea or multiple ideas, try to select the most promising idea, and then you develop your opportunity over time, you know. And I think at each and every stage of this development process, you can benefit in very different ways from knowledge exchanges with and the openness that this engenders. I know you have one more example, if you allow. You know, but because I'm on the board of a startup, it's called SwissPod, and we're doing Hyperloop technology, you know. And there I actually saw what I'm just explaining in a more conceptual manner in real life, you know, how the context, the university setting helps the startup to gather knowledge, to get acquire knowledge that it would not have been able to acquire elsewhere, plus the collaborations among different research institutions. So it's a live case and illustration, basically, with a radical innovation project where I see this happening in real time, you know, because it's just outside the door. It's our Hyperloop testing facility. So what I'm saying is that on the one hand, the chapters provides this conceptual framework, but on the other hand, I find it highly practical because it allows me to think very systematically about the startup.
And I like a lot about what you said is first the role of the founder as creator of open culture, no, so to speak. So, and it also gives a personality, not only within the collaboration opportunities and the knowledge flows, but also within the organization and how we assume that knowledge internally, no?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
So, you know, I think that perspective can be fruitful for the researchers that are more focused on open innovation to understand better the processes, why certain founders or certain individuals are more open to innovation than others, and vice versa. Yeah.
Interesting. And then you also discuss about the benefits, not only financial benefits, but also the leverage for scalability, no? Yeah. And I think that's the biggest question of all endeavors and entrepreneurs is how do we scale, no? And maybe at some point, and I even have these conversations continuously with SMEs and with the startups is, okay, but where's the EBITDA, no? Here. Mm-hmm. So how do we connect collaboration to scalability, as you discuss in your chapter?
So there are various ways, and we, in particular, let me emphasize one context that is particularly important and interesting to us. It's the scalability for grand societal challenges, because there that's a major topic within the entrepreneurship literature, how you tackle the grand challenges that our society faces. And if you think about these grand challenges, these are, as the name implies, grand, but they are complex, multiple stakeholders are involved. They are tricky in the sense. They are wicked
problems.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And in order to address this, we need innovative solutions, and innovative solutions can come from a variety of actors. And here, you know, if you look at from an entrepreneurial lens, a single small startup cannot make a big change, but it's the technological innovation, for instance, in combination with the openness to collaborate with various actors, to exchange knowledge, to be open to exchanges, that I think is one of the vital ingredients to make these types of startups successful and be actually able to address the grand challenges. So we see open innovation, and that's, I think, one of the main theses that we put out in this chapter. Open innovation as a very powerful force to help entrepreneurs that are looking to tackle grand challenges to actually be able to tackle them. You know, and I think the open innovation literature can be very enlightening for studies in social entrepreneurship that look at these wicked problems, as you said.
That's one of the great things about this book, is that in its own nature is also an open innovation exercise, you know, mixing
Absolutely
different areas and disciplines. And I love that the conclusion is always an invitation to discover and explore this mix of new areas. So we are almost ready for a close, a final call to action and advice, one idea that you want that the people take with them.
I think if those who are in the open innovation domain primarily, that are listening and viewing us today, you know, take a look at the entrepreneurship literature and try to find ways in which, you know, you can see ways to dock onto this. literature and vice versa. You know, I think there are scholars that are in both domains, yes, but there could be more. And I think it's very enriching to bring these literatures closer together.
Of course, and most importantly, because startups and entrepreneurs are a huge critical role in what we talk about in ecosystems and open innovation. And also I would add maybe that from the practitioner side, here are very specific and concrete advice that you can look and also somehow bring methodology and tools to that thing that comes very naturally to startups, which is open and collaborate, but find the good way to do that, you know? Exactly. Thank you very much, Marc. This has been amazing. You see why I'm so happy about doing this, because there's always a great conversation, and you were a delight to talk to. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you again for the invitation.
And thank you to everyone who connected. See you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.